welcome to Fett's Legacy, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about a potential leak about the Ahsoka series, including Hayden Christensen returning and reprising the role of Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker. But guys, before we get into that, I just want to say a quick thank you for all the support and an apology for the delay for this video and a lack of videos coming out. I did mention it before, but I'm going through some personal stuff with my family, and I actually also had some technical difficulties. I did record this entire video and then realized the audio was completely destroyed and screwed up, so I had to redo it all. So I do apologize for the lack of videos, guys. I'm just going through some stuff. I don't really want to get into it, but I do want to still keep this channel going and still bring out great content for you guys. But guys, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So this leak comes from makingstarwars.net. And I don't know too much about them, but I do know that they have gotten things right in the past. I do try to avoid leaks, but this one was just something I could not avoid. And yeah, we don't know exactly if it's true or not. We don't know if this is reputable. I just think it seems pretty legit and would be really cool if it is. So I thought we could dive a little bit deeper into it and talk about some of the potentials. If this leak is true, some theories and stuff that could happen in the Ahsoka series. So I'm just going to quote directly from them. During the production of Star Wars Ahsoka, there was a code for a character I am reluctant to share at the moment, but this code I was able to figure out and confirm. Ahsoka Tano had different code names for different eras of her story, using different actors for those moments. This was my first hunch that we would see Ahsoka in different eras of her life to some extent, but before you think that's all this is, the story takes a sharp turn. To be clear, there is another young actor playing Ahsoka Tano in Star Wars Ahsoka, and it is not the excellent Rosario Dawson, nor is it fan favorite actress Ashley Eckstein. I cannot confirm if Ashley Eckstein is voicing young Ahsoka at this time. To be clear, these are glimpses or small sequences, and Dawson will play Ahsoka during the majority of the story. So guys, that means we're going to be getting Ahsoka at a few different time periods in her life, kind of like we just saw in Tales of the Jedi. We'll see her maybe when she's young and just maybe a young Padawan in the Order, maybe learning from Yoda. We could see her with Anakin, and we could see Hayden Christensen come back as Anakin Skywalker, which we will talk about a little bit more later on. And so we could see her live action as Anakin's Padawan for even a couple glimpses, which would be really cool. I also think that we could see some sort of flashback in live action of her leaving the Jedi Order and kind of explaining more of her story to people who maybe haven't seen the Clone Wars. I know a lot of people haven't watched that show. It's 7 seasons. It's tough for more casual fans to get into, and so they may not understand Ahsoka's story if they haven't watched it, because that's pretty much all of Ahsoka's story. So they're really trying to bring her back in and make her a more recognizable character to the new and more casual fans. So they want to explain some of her backstory, and I'm sure many new fans haven't seen Rebels, and they'll just watch the Ahsoka series and they'll know her from The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, but they won't really know about Clone Wars Ahsoka or Rebels Ahsoka. So I think this could be a good opportunity for them to show a bit more about Ahsoka and show, you know, her leaving the Order, why she left the Order, who she was before we know her now, and I just think it could be really cool to see some of those moments in live action or some new moments in live action, of course, with Hayden Christensen returning as Anakin Skywalker. Now, quoting back from them again, my Darth Vader sources have confirmed Ahsoka will fight Darth Vader in more than one way, and Hayden Christensen required some training for a sequence in the series because we will see his face again on screen, wearing the same costume he wore on Mustafar in Revenge of the Sith. We will see many possible outcomes for Ahsoka's life, and how, in essence, no matter what, they all lead to a particular moment in her story. If Ahsoka had returned to the Jedi Order, she would be the one fighting Darth Vader on Mustafar, having the high ground, not Obi-Wan Kenobi. Because what happened had to happen. To get Tano to where she and the Skywalkers needed to be, I can also confirm Hayden Christensen filmed a fight scene with Clone Wars Ahsoka in this scenario. That is pretty big news. I mean, that is pretty crazy to hear if it is true. We could be diving more into the World Between Worlds. And if you guys don't know what that is, it was something in Rebels that we saw only for a couple episodes. And so basically Ahsoka fights Darth Vader And as she's about to lose and die, Ezra goes in the world between worlds and saves her. And now this was pretty crazy for a lot of Star Wars fans, and we do know that Palpatine was really trying to work on it and get it open for a long time. And so maybe eventually he does figure out how to do this and he goes back in time. Or more likely, I think Ahsoka will meet up with Ezra and they will go in the world between worlds yet again. I do not think that it will be Anakin / Darth Vader going in the world between worlds. And this is mostly because I think Palpatine was keeping it a secret from him. And this obviously makes sense because he would want to use it to go and save Padme, or to go and beat Obi-Wan, or to do various different things. I would actually like to make a separate video on this, talking about what would Darth Vader do if he had access to the world between worlds. So keep an eye out for that. I think that's a great video idea. And I also think that Palpatine wouldn't want him to start using it and getting caught up in his past again. And I just think Palpatine wanted control over it, and if he did need to use it, he could go back in time and change things, but at that point in time, he didn't really need to use it. He was on top of the galaxy, and the Empire ruled with an iron fist, and so I do think that we could see him actually figure out how to use it, but I think it's much more likely for Ahsoka to go back in time and try and change things, and maybe she ends up fighting Anakin, trying to stop things. And yeah, I mean, that would be an absolutely great thing to see. I do really want to see Hayden Christensen back as Darth Vader and Anakin. And they do mention that Ahsoka would have been the one to fight Darth Vader on Mustafar, and she still would have won. And I understand that, you know, it's all about fate, and Anakin had to spend 20 years in the light, 20 years in the dark, bringing balance to the Force. And no matter what would have happened, he had to switch to the dark side. I do get that. But it does seem a little bit crazy to me to say that Ahsoka would have beaten Anakin on Mustafar. I understand what they're doing with that and where they're going with that, but I do hope that's not the case and they don't actually show that happening. I think that's just a bit ridiculous. Ahsoka is a great fighter. She's very talented. Obviously, she was the Padawan of Anakin Skywalker, one of the toughest Jedi of all time, and obviously the one with the most potential, one of the most reckless and strong Jedi there ever was. So she is also reckless and strong and fast, powerful. We all know Ahsoka. She even held her own with Darth Maul. She is a very great fighter. So I understand what they're trying to do, and obviously Ahsoka is very talented, but this is Anakin Skywalker we're talking about. Obi-Wan could barely beat him. He was on the back foot for almost the entire fight and got lucky that Anakin was overconfident and got cocky and tried something that he shouldn't have. But if we're being honest with ourselves, Obi-Wan barely got out of that fight and could have died more than once for sure. And I do think that his Form 3 really helped him, and I think that Anakin being so overly aggressive against Obi-Wan's Form 3 really helped him kind of soak up all that pressure, and then all at once kind of destroyed Anakin. Now, Ahsoka uses Form 5, which is very counterattacking based, so she can soak up pressure, but she counterattacks fast. And that obviously still works against Anakin, who is on the front foot, but will she have the time to counterattack? Will she be able to counterattack and soak up the pressure like Obi-Wan? Now, comparing someone to Obi-Wan is definitely unfair. Obi-Wan is one of the greatest fighters we've ever seen, one of the greatest Jedi ever. I think beating Anakin and Darth Vader are some of his most impressive feats. And so to say that Ahsoka could do those things is just a little bit crazy to me. I don't know if she's capable of doing something like that. But I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you guys think Ahsoka would have beaten Anakin on Mustafar? Was it written in fate? Or are they just talking nonsense right now and Anakin would have wiped the floor with her? That's definitely what I think, but let me know what you guys think down below. But guys, yeah, so it looks like we're going to get Hayden Christensen returning to reprise the role of Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader, which we did know, but now they're talking about possibly the world between worlds, and we're going to see Ahsoka maybe leaving the Order in live action and a couple different points in her story, which will be really cool. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Is this true? Is this false? I definitely want to know what you guys think. And anyway, guys, thank you so much for all the support. Hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.